Good morning, everybody. Dale Robbins, Rich Violette, and head coach of the Northwood Timberwolves, Leonard Haynes, on MCTV's Northwood Replay. It's great to have you back again this weekend. We are going to, tough for a coach to go back and replay a loss, especially when you're looking for your first win. However, Coach put this to bed Sunday after films and meeting with the team after Saturday's game and their 31-28 loss to Ashland University out of Ohio. They have been, for the last 4 days, preparing for what's next. So we're going to take Coach and ask him to simply go back in time and discuss what could have been, what was, what should have been, and what it ended up being, and how that jettisons into our next contest this weekend against Saginaw Valley. And Coach, a phenomenal game. I believe that that's the best game I've seen you play this year as a club. All cylinders were firing, and during our pregame of the football game on the radio and on TV, Coach Violette always runs through what he considers to be the three keys of each game for you to do. And last weekend, you guys seemed to accomplish all three of Coach's keys and still suffered that 31-28 loss. Heartbreaking loss, by the way. So what did you see from Saturday's game where you fell short in being able to claim that win? What did you see as the most notable improvement from the week before against Grand Valley? And what did you see was a position of that game where what you called for a week ago's practice was accomplished to take on a tough opponent in Ashland?
One thing, our kids, I'm very proud of our kids because they fight to the point where you know if you come and play Northwood, it's going to be a fight.
59 minutes and 18 seconds, by the way, was the fight.
And so we're going to fight. We're going to keep going. We're going to give you our best. But you start to see some things come together from the passing game perspective. I thought we got a lot better in passing game perspective. You know, you kind of take what the defense gives you. And so our guys did a good job with that. Our coaches, our players, we took advantage of some situations there. Our defense early on was playing really tough, good defense, making tackles, open field tackles. And so those are some of the things you look for. And there's really a lot of minor little things, you know, the average people don't see. And so we've gotten better from that standpoint. But the critical errors killed us at the end of the day.
And there weren't many.
And there weren't many, but towards the end of the game, you know, we made some critical errors that put Ashland in a position to get some momentum and go in and score and win. And so, but even with that, our guys still came back to fight to give us a chance to win.
Had a shot inside of a minute to play.
Yeah, had a shot. So we still had a shot. We still had a chance, but no, obviously we came up short.
I just want to quickly say, before Coach Violette gives his question, is talk about having a shot, and we talked about it a little bit before tape started rolling here, is 3 of your 4 games this year, with the exception of Grand Valley, who kind of dominated that whole game or set the tempo of the whole game. You have had that shot in your first 2 games. In the other game, you are that play away, if I may, from being a completely different win-loss record. I don't know if you're a different club, because your club is exciting to watch in the growth in just 4 weeks of a regular season, but that margin is so thin right now, the difference between you guys in a win and a loss.
Oh yeah, and then you know we're playing against some good competition, some good good teams. And so you have to make sure you take care of the little things, and because those things will come back and bite you. And that's what we found. Some, whether it's a missed block or not filling a correct gap defensively, those little things come back and get you and cause some big plays for the other team. So as soon as we shore those things up, we'll be much better.
Well, I certainly feel for you and the team. I felt like you were in control the whole game, much like Dale alluded to. Can you put your finger on what was the difference between your first 3 games and this game coming out of the locker room? Because you looked like a different football team coming out of the locker room. You guys were ready to play, and you did, and you maintained the control for most of the game, minus a couple of miscues.
Right. The difference is these kids get better each and every week, Rich. So, and I take my hat off to them because they got a lot of fight in them. And one of the goals is, hey, we got to play 4 quarters, 60 minutes. And you hear it all the time, coach say 60 minutes, 60 minutes. But the players know that. So they wanted to come out from the get-go with a lot of energy and to try to cap this thing off. And for the most part, we did that. And like you said, it wasn't for some miscues. it's definitely a different ball game. And
Yeah, as far as those miscues go, there was a couple of points, but that I wanted to ask you about.
Yeah.
One is the one where we got the ball stripped after the forward progress, which he didn't call. Forward progress was going the other way, in my view.
Unbelievable.
But you were pretty hot on
Took your hat off and everything, Coach.
So,
yeah,
what was your feeling on that?
Well, I thought
maybe
wrong
you
call.
can share what you
well just
said
from
with the refs.
what I shared with the refs. We won't get to that, but no, it wasn't that bad. I felt that forward progress was stopped.
Correct.
From my viewpoint. Now, I didn't have the view from the
Well,
other
perspective
side.
is you were clearly at least 7 yards from the pile. You had a pretty good look at
Right,
it. Go ahead.
and so I felt as though forward progress was stopped.
Right.
Ball comes out. Obviously, they get the ball and they discuss that it's Ashland's ball, and then I was I wanted to ask the referee, well, explain that to me.
Help me
understand
Yeah.
what everyone saw. And, they said the power was still moving forward in their estimation, and the ball had already come out before he started going backwards. But, that's another thing. We got to make sure we secure the ball. We got to make sure we protect the ball at all costs, no matter what, and just leave no doubt, basically.
I have one more question regarding that portion of the game. We were up 20-10. It was late in the third.
Yeah, we took that lead.
You decided to go for it, 4th and 1.
Yeah, 4th and 1, yeah.
Just curious what your mindset is. And I'm not second-guessing when I'm saying that, because I was 50-50 myself on what I would do in that situation.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious what your mindset was.
Well, obviously, everyone says take the points, obviously. But my mindset was we had some momentum going.
It was a good drive for you.
It was a great drive for us. The kids wanted it, and I said, hey, let's go get it. But going back to miscue, there was one miscue on that play where a linebacker ends up in the lap of our running back. And so if you go back and watch the film, if we make that play,
if we do our job,
then that's a whole different drive. Maybe it's a score.
Right.
Speaking of watching the film, a game riddled with highlights. It was just an exciting football game to call and be at. Let's take a look at just a few we've been able to pick up, Coach, and you can walk us through a little bit of last Saturday.
All right, here it is. Joey to his best friend, just about Al Spacuzzi, the De La Salle boys on this drive here. Then we get a nice little throw and catch to Noah. I believe that's Noah, right? 15?
I believe it was.
Yeah, Noah. He had a pretty good game. There it is, Noah again.
K-13.
K-13, baby. K-13, because I cannot say his last name.
that's right.
This is big. Special teams. Obviously, you don't want them breaking it like they did, but Andrew Davis does a great job coming to knock that ball out from behind.
Yes, he does. Yeah.
And here's Joe on the scramble for the first down. A third down. I think we might have gone for it if it was 4th down, but we'll see. And here's a nice tough run by Cash.
I love Casual's feet. He doesn't stop.
Yeah, he doesn't
just keeps chomping away.
Yeah, sorry for one, got to bring him down for sure. And here's a nice pass over to Jake.
Good catch by Vincent.
Yeah,
Again.
absolutely. Little slant route to our boy, Brian Keith. Excuse me. And here's a play. Joe checked to a pass that was supposed to be a run, and heard the coaches on the phone say,
Spacuzzi, 4 catches, 48 yards, and
Isn't
that
that
touchdown
crazy?
on the day.
The coach just said, we don't know what we're talking about. Let Joe run it. So, but there's another one to Spacuzzi. And Parker Bus.
A 37-yarder there. He got a 47-yarder to take the lead in your first lead of the game.
Yes, strong leg. Here's a tough run by Al. Al does a lot of little things. We're talking about Rich, the all-purpose yards he has.
130 yards, return yards.
He does a pretty good job.
Saturday.
Little play action to open up the half. And we score up there to Christian.
103 yards for Christian.
Yeah,
on the day.
yeah.
And
4
he had a good
catches.
day.
Yep.
A roll-out pass to Micah. Again, like you said, Joey, our passing game was pretty on. Guys were on the same page. Great throw and catch.
Garbarino, nearly
Right,
career day, Coach, with his passing yard. 372 yards in the air.
Man. Career day for him.
Yeah, it was.
Here's his onside kick.
Special
Gives us a chance. Special teams, great job. Coach Arnold does a great job with those guys. But I mean, we had a chance right there,
Right.
and for us to get that ball back, put us in position to have a chance to win.
There you see that
And
final.
your hurry-up offense, too, very, very good. I mean, the last couple of drives there, you were moving the ball and with little time on the clock.
Yes, our offense does a good job throughout the week. It obviously, as probably everyone in the country does, preparing for those type of situations.
Right.
But the way they executed it, man, was almost flawless.
Yeah, it was great to watch.
Yeah. There's the final, of course, of that game. I believe the guys in the back want to take a look maybe at the GLIAC outcome from just a week ago.
And there you have it. We got Davenport 35 to 24 over Lindenwood, Grand Valley 21 over 16 to a Michigan Tech football team, and Wayne State 24 to, I believe it's 24 to 20 or 17.
I believe you're right. Yes.
Against Saginaw, Fair State 38 to 10 over Northern Michigan.
And that Grand Valley game was tight until the end.
Yeah, it was tight till the end.
Yeah, Tech actually had a lead late.
Yep. And there's the standings there throughout the conferences you guys see. 2-0 with Grand Valley and Ferris, Davenport, 1-0 Wayne State, 1-0 in the conferences, all conference standings, by the way. And Saginaw 1-1, Ashland 1-1, and we round out the bottom with Michigan Tech Northern Michigan at 0-2. And overall standings, as you see there, you have Fair State and Grand Valley sitting at 4-0, Davenport 3-0, Saginaw Valley 3-1, Tech, Wayne State, Ashland 2-2, Northern 1-3, and Northwood still yet to get that W in that column. So we're still working toward it.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what, Coach, before we bring in one of your north-south guys, as Rich and I refer him to, excited to bring this young man forward and get a chance to meet him and have your fan base meet up with him too. Excited for that. But a lot of noteworthy points coming out of Saturday's game. For the first time ever, you guys scored first and had a lead to begin. You had a lead at the half. You were up 13-10. You had a 10-point lead late in the third quarter. Did you note anything other than you touched on it a little bit, anything where you felt that momentum shift? Was it the play that Rich brought up where the fumble was recovered and literally stripped another good drive you guys were having? Did you notice a momentum shift? It didn't happen on the sideline, I'll tell you what, because you guys stayed vested.
Yes.
But did you notice anything that was the trigger to that?
Well, those opportunities,
Right.
the fumble, things of that nature, the turnovers, you can see it. You can kind of feel it happening. And but again, our guys still stayed the course.
Indeed.
Like I said, we came right back down and scored, and so again gives us a chance, and we recover an onside kick. So now momentum kind of starting to shift back
the
our
other way.
And again, we just didn't make the plays at the end to win. So.
And you've cited it many weeks before. You got to play good football to win in the GLIAC, because Ashland's a program that thrives, as do all these teams in this conference.
Yeah.
They thrive on that. That gives them that shift. So.
Exactly.
You know, one thing we didn't talk about was Dimitri, and he had a whale of a game
17
on defense.
tackles on the day.
Now he's a leader in the GLIAC
Yep.
and leading tackles. And the thing I'm impressed most about that is half of those are solos.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's a great technique.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of different things with Dimitri in that defense, the secondary, and man, he's showing up and playing big this year for us.
Yeah.
He's unequivocally the leader of our football team.
Great.
With that, we're going to let you catch your breath, then we talk about the axe.
All right.
Ready for that? Get a drink and come on back, and we'll keep your seat warm. We won't, but we're excited to bring into our studio a junior running back for the Northwood Timberwolves. Wears number 7, and Abdul Levy is going to sit right where Coach is at, and we'll be right back with him after this. Welcome back, everybody. Dale Robbins, Rich Violette, and the rookie in the television studio, Abdul Levy, and it's great to have you here, young man. And I know that this doesn't mean you have to get up early, because I know Fish has got you guys in conditioning and strengthening all the time before the sun gets up, and with your classes and your commitment to your football program at the Northwood University Timberwolves location. This is you're living a different lifestyle today than you were in high school, looking to come to college. And share with me a little bit bit, if you will, number 7. You have not, college football has been a school of hard knocks for you. You've been dinged up a little bit in your couple of years here. But that, for some reason, doesn't seem to slow you down when you get a touch. You're relied on very heavily. You are north and south. Coach Violette and I have talked about that the last couple of years. Not that you don't find a quick hole with a nice move left or right, but you just seem to bury your head and take on what lies ahead of you a little bit. Is that something you even think about anymore, or is that instinctive how you run the football at people?
That's mostly just instinctive. The way growing up, my father always taught me just run north and south, and if someone's in your way, just get them out of your way.
You do.
Yeah. So
Run them over.
Yeah, that's the only way. So that's just pretty much instinctive at this point, and every run I have is like that since high school. And even though I'm banged up, I don't really have that in my mind. Like I told Coach, I'm 100% no matter what happens.
That's what he said.
You know, as long as I'm out there on the field, I'm 100%. That's all mentality.
Yeah.
Well, you certainly exemplify football and football player and toughness. You really do. And we know when we're watching you, we're going to get your best effort. That's for sure. What's it mean to play in this game coming up, the Axe Bowl?
The Axe Bowl means everything. Coming from out of state, I didn't really know much about the Axe Bowl my freshman year, but I just looked at the people above me and the seniors and playing for them and seeing how much emotion they had in the game. And then just going to Northwood for a couple of years, I started to actually feel that atmosphere of the Axe Bowl, and that means everything to me. That's the only thing on my mind that's been on my mind going to sleep, waking up, is getting that Axe back.
Sure.
I love to hear that. Let me ask one more, Dale, if you don't mind.
No, you go.
Last year, touchdown in the Axe Bowl, big run. I'm sure you think about that a lot, and I'm sure you want to duplicate it this Saturday.
Absolutely.
I always ask Coach this, but I'm going to ask a player this time. What are the keys to doing well and winning this game this weekend?
We have to play 60 minutes, just like Coach always says. We can't come out slow and try to ease our way into the game. We have to come out and play hard from the get-go like we did last week. And we have to clean up on some of those little errors. It's little minute details like maybe missing a block here or missing a block there. So we just have to come out and execute, which we have done this week in practice.
Good to hear.
Yeah. Quick question for you. It is about the football field because that's where we get to celebrate you on Saturdays. And I know that going into the automotive management field that all of a sudden, a year, 2, 3, 4 from now, you'll be doing something different than playing at Northwood University, right? But talk about, if you will, a little bit for us, Abdul. How important has it been, some of the community involvement that you, as a player and an athlete representative of Northwood University, not just in the classroom and on the football field, but you guys do some amazing things in this small Midland community that are life-changing. How does that impact you and what you then lend to your underclassmen who are part of your program?
Yeah, it definitely means a lot, and I was actually recruited by Pat Rietma.
Cool.
So he kind of taught me all about Go M.A.D, and he said, you can go make a difference on the field, but also off the field is where you really should make a difference. So we have Go M.A.D Day where the whole football team, all the organizations get around and go out in the community and rake leaves or volunteer at children events, and that means the world to little children, just having football players, running football camps for them.
Go M.A.D last year, I think, generated almost 3,000 volunteer hours in a day with the contributions that you guys make to that. So that's huge.
Well, I'm certainly looking forward to this weekend, and I'm looking forward to watching you run the ball for sure. And I know if you guys come out this weekend like you did last weekend, I have no doubt that you won't be successful.
Yep.
And you guys actually, Coach brought it up. We brought it up the first couple against Tiffin and Findlay. You guys were playing such a solid second half. You were finally scoring, and the defense, buried in and held the opposition to very few points in the first half, or in the second half, rather. It was a different tempo that you guys hit the field on Saturday against Ashland. Did you sense it?
Yep, we kind of noticed that as a team. We come together and notice that we play better in the second half,
right.
And that hasn't worked in the past. So throughout practice is where everything starts. So we have to start fast in practice, finish fast in practice. And we started that last week, and it translated to Saturday, and we noticed that. So this week we've been doing the same thing, and it's going to translate to Saturday as well.
You bet. It's a building process, isn't it?
Yep.
And all the youth that influx at the chemistry of everybody learning what other guys are going to do or not going to do in situations as one of the team leaders and the returning guys. Have you ever brought the Axe back to Midland? Because I know the last two, I think Saginaw got. Did you win it as a freshman, the Axe?
My redshirt freshman year, we lost it at Saginaw.
Okay.
But then the year after, we brought it back.
All right. Well, we know where it belongs. I'm going to tell you that
of
right
course.
now.
When my son played for Northwood, we won the X back then, and I got to get my hands on it that night and
There's
have
a
a little
picture
fun with
somewhere.
it. There's a
With the
picture
action somewhere.
I'm sure it shouldn't surface, but
Well, that's it for time. Just like that, we blinked and it's gone. But this has been awesome to have you in here with us this morning, and continued success. And certainly as the automotive management career field knocks on your door, which it will, and again, another blink of the eye, we wish you nothing but great luck, Abdul, and it has been great to have you here this morning.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You betcha. You betcha. Just like that, Coach Haynes just keeps bringing in solid, quality men. They share a little bit of themselves and a little bit of the concept of what Coach Haynes is doing with a program of nearly 100 men on a daily basis. That's what Northwood football is all about. That win-loss thing, yeah, some people look. This is what we look for right here, and we're glad it's happening. We'll be right back, and we'll talk about the Saginaw Valley rivalry. Yep, we got to travel about 20 minutes away and bring that puppy home. We're bringing home the axe. We'll see from Coach Haynes why. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. Northwood Replay, Episode 5 of the 2019 Northwood Timberwolves football team. As always, head coach Leonard Haynes joins Rich, Violette, and I in the studio, and it's great to have you back. Coach, it is going to be week 3 of GLIAC action, and we've been asked to let's take a quick look at the matchups come Saturday, and we'll get to the all-important one, us versus SVSU.
Yeah, right there at the top. But Fair State is at Davenport. That should be a pretty good game because Davenport now is, I believe, what, 2-1, 3-1?
Yes.
And so we'll see what they're made of. Wayne State is at Northern Michigan, and Ashland at Grand Valley.
Okay. I'm assuming there it is right there.
There
Our
it
game,
is.
by the way, is, give us a little highlight of that. It is at Saginaw.
Yep, that's Saginaw, 1 o'clock start. Love to have a lot of people come out to that game and see us play. You know, it's always a great rivalry game, and cross-town rivalry, and with that team down the road. And so we'll.
The wood travels well, even on some of our northern Michigan and our Ohio games. We travel well. There's no excuse because Saginaw still is Eastern Standard Time Zone, and you can do that. You can do that in less than 30 minutes from downtown Midland. So we have no excuses. Let's go ahead, Coach, and in that next game, seeing at 3-1 and Saginaw Valley suffering their first loss last week, that they are very balanced in their approach to their game. They average about 350 total yards per game. They do about 158 of that in the air. On the ground, they're good for a couple of hundred yards, 193 yards. And so what part of that balanced attack of a team like that do you guys look to disrupt? What are you preparing to disrupt as a part of Saginaw's team to bring that axe home?
I mean, everything we can.
Sure.
It's just they're a pretty talented football team. You know, they have some pretty good receivers, pretty good running backs, quarterbacks this season. I think he's pretty good. You know, he's definitely matured over there,
Right.
and has become a leader for them. And so, again, we have to be concerned about us and stopping some of their best things, some of their best plays, try to take away some of their best players. You know, and that's just all football. That's just planning,
Right.
and trying to figure out, you know, how to slow them down. And so, but it'll be a great football game. It always is, the Expo, and so I'm looking forward to it.
Good.
they're not prone to mistakes. You know, they were down to Wayne State early, fumble for a pick six. Pretty soon, quickly, they were down 10. So, keys to winning this one. What are the keys to?
Well, we just got to stay the course for us, and we got to be able to slow them down because they've been doing some pretty good things as the weeks have gone on. Yeah, they had some miscues last weekend, and so I'm pretty sure they'll be up for this game. And but their defense is solid. Their defense was pretty solid. They return a lot of guys on defense, and on their front, I believe, is one of the best fronts we will see. You know, and they're ranked right up there with some of the other ones that we've seen so far. So we just got to be able to hold on the ball and execute.
You know, traditionally, this game has always been a close game.
Right.
Back and forth, since 2014. We've won it, they've won it, we've won it, they've won it. It's always been a score or two difference.
Right.
I look back at last year, and last year's game really came down to special teams.
Yes.
And takeaways.
Yes.
And they scored 2 touchdowns on blocked punts last year on us, and that was the difference in the game. I'm sure you're well aware of that, and I'm sure this week you're gonna, you correct me if I'm wrong, you've practiced the special teams and preached it to the players that this is where the game can be won and lost.
Well, for sure. And Coach Arnold's done a great job with that, he's a special teams coordinator, so you take that to heart. And so we're definitely going to prepare our guys the best way possible so that doesn't happen again.
Coach.
Now,
He already knows. He already knows.
I will bring this up as well, and other than being pressured a couple of times, Parker Blust, as the punter, has not been blocked this year. He's averaging almost 40 yards per kick. The young sophomore has certainly come in and been an influence in that special teams game. I sense that there's a lot going on in this rivalry games that you guys have coming up. It doesn't take a lot to get up for a game on Saturday, and especially this one. How often throughout this week's practice has that rivalry and that axe been used, or is it even necessary to get these guys up, coming off a great performance, I believe, against Ashland? You feel like they're on a roll, that they've got answers to some of the questions maybe they had in week 1 and 2. They're in a good path?
Yeah, our players, again, I think Abdul said, week of practice has been good so far.
Right.
These guys are dialed in. They know what's at stake. You don't have to get up too much for a rivalry game. You don't have to say a whole lot, to get these guys fired up. And so we just got to make sure we're not too high. And, that's the thing. You got to make sure you control where they're not just too high. And, because then you start to get a little too tight. But other than that, our guys are always jacked up to play this game.
I'm going to reference some of the team leaders we've talked to here on our Thursday morning replay tapings. But you got guys like Garbarino and Spicuzzi and Abro, who right now, as seniors, will not see the Axe Bowl played or be in the Axe Bowl again. This for that senior squad and those types of leaders amongst, and you've got a number to name, you don't have to gear those guys for the importance of this to the young guys.
No, you do not. And the young guys learn real fast how important this game is. And, and again, a lot of these guys have been recruited by Saginaw, have friends at Saginaw.
Sure.
Some, even one of our guys, have a brother over at Saginaw. And I said, this week it's just no love lost.
That's right.
And now we got to go out there. It's all about Northwood and going out there and do what we do best.
Well, it's all about bragging rights. And I hope the next thing, when we see each other next, that the only thing you have to worry about is what the players are doing Saturday night. I hope that's your only next word.
You keep the sheath on the axe.
That's right. I pray that's what it is, brother. I pray that's what it is.
Well, listen, Len, it's, again, I look so forward to this time with you. It's kind of an inside track to what was, and more importantly, what is, and what lies ahead for. So 1 o'clock is game time. Rich and I will be on about 12:45 on 107.7 FM. We are also on at GoNorthwood.com. Stats and live audio will be there. And as we do every week, we're looking to call a win. And I just believe that we have one in store. And we are
close.
That close.
As long as the players don't stop believing and the coaches don't stop believing, we got a chance.
I haven't run into one. I haven't run into any of those.
As long as the fans don't stop believing.
That's right.
Don't stop believing.
Come out and see what it's all about.
That's right.
For Coach Leonard Haynes, my partner Rich Violette, my name's Dale Robbins. Episode 5 of Northwood Replay is in the hopper. Look for you Saturday over at SVSU at Cardinal Stadium. If you're not there, it's your own fault. We invite you, and then we'll come talk about it a week from today. Have a great weekend and get out of here and go away. Go away mad, everybody. So long.